Good evening, everybody. I have to do a little bit of kind of an emergency video here on the front fender swap on the KLX300. This is for, I want to thank a viewer, pastorbuckhall. He actually pointed out to me he had a question. He had purchased a Cherubies 450, KX450 front fender like I had, but he put in the comments that he tried to put it on and it wasn't fitting because of the headlight and the bolt under the headlight. And I had mentioned that, well, when I put mine on, I know the holes lined up correctly and it bolted right on. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. Now mine was a Polysport, so I thought maybe they were molded different. But so what I did is I actually got an Cherubies front fender, took my Polysport off, and I wanted to see if they were the same. And they are the same. What I forgot to mention, I actually, when I pulled my Polysport off today, I realized that what I had done for the clearance issue was right up in this area, your headlight, the bolt for the headlight hits right in here and won't allow the fender sticks down from the triple tree because the bolt hits right here. And what I forgot to mention to the pastor is I remembered once I took it off, I took a heat gun, I heated this up very hot, and I took the back end of a screwdriver, and I don't know if you can see it there. There you can kind of see it. I pushed in and put a depression in there and held it until it cooled, and then it stayed there. So that's why it fits up after that. Now, one other thing I'm going to comment on here, this is the Polysport. This green on the Polysport, it matches almost dead on to the plastics on the bike from the factory. And one thing I noticed is I got the Cherubies one today, and I don't know if you can tell on the video, but the Cherubies one is not quite a dead-on match. It's not quite as bright neon green as this is the Polysport. This is the Cherubies, which it's actually just a shade darker. When you have it on the bike, you can notice it more than you can probably right here on the camera, but it is definitely darker, that is for sure. And I'll show you another thing here that I want to mention. They both give you bushings for where it mounts on the triple tree there, the lower triple tree. But you can see that's the Cherubies. The bushings push down in the hole of the fender. There's no collar. They just push in. Now, if you notice on these are the ones that come in the Polysport. They actually have a washer kind of built onto the top of the collar. Now, what I had mentioned to Pastor is when I mounted this Polysport on these back two holes, I actually added an additional 16th inch spacer washer just so that the fender cocked away. The back of the fender here would tend to, it was real close to my down tube on the frame on the back of the fender. So I actually put those in there to kind of cock the fender down just a little bit. And I probably have now, I'm going to say about 3/8 of an inch clearance between, probably this finger width between the down tube and this Polysport fender. Without that, it was very, very close, and sometimes when I would turn it, the clutch cable comes down, and it would actually touch the clutch cable on occasion when I would turn. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bolt the Cherubies up without any washer here real quick, and I'm going to see how close it is to the frame. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on. move that up a little bit. And it does, both of these fenders, all 4 of these holes do line up dead on. You don't got to do any filing or drilling out. They bolt up dead on once you go ahead and heat this and push it in. And I really apologize to Pastor because I should have known that. I had no idea. I totally forgot that I had done that. And I believe the Pastor had maybe just adjusted the holes on the fender, maybe drilled another set to get it farther forward. But I still think I'm probably going to need some spacer washers with this, a chairbees. I'm saying a chairbees because the French folks say that's the way you're supposed to say it. I know a lot of guys here in North America say a service. So I'm trying to be proper and make the folks overseas proud of me. And these fenders, did I say French? Yeah, okay. It's Italy, Italian, okay. This is the part number. Now, both of these fenders, I ordered them for 2021 KX450s. This is the Acherbys part number, if you can see it. I don't have the Polysport offhand. I did give it to Pastor. The part number on the Polysport is 85745. And then there'll be a number at the end for the Keller, but of course if you're ordering it somewhere, you're going to pick, you know, Kawasaki green. Or white or black, but that's the main part number. Okay. Harbor Freight. Don't crank them. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys how this looks without, right here. Now you can see now this is the longer clutch cable from the 06 KLX300, so the original one may stick in but the down tube, but I'm trying to show, let me show you guys here if I can see it. The down tube clearance it's basically touching the down tube right in this area. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the little washer spacers in here and we'll see what happens. And these are just they're just simple hardware store washers, just 2 of them. See if I can slide them up in here. Have to take the fender off. I actually glued them on the other fender. See, this one doesn't have the spacer on the top. I may have to actually add two. May have to end up adding two washers to this one. Okay. Now we actually have, it's so tough to show you guys this, but it's hard to see the clearance now, but there is about 1/4 of an inch up through there now. Now this cable probably will occasionally touch that fender, being that's the extended cable. The stock cable lays back in here, I believe, along the frame and doesn't stick out so far. So that's something you'll want to keep an eye on if you do have one of those cables. It may vibrate on there going down the road, but now I don't know if you can see the color differential from there. It's hard to pick up on, which when you're in here in the shop with the natural lighting, you can see that this is more of a yellowy lime green, where the fender has more of green tint to it and a little bit less of the yellow. You can definitely tell when it's on the bike. Will people pick it out outside? Probably not, they won't even notice, but even that Meyer MX rear fender matches very well to the stock plastic here, but that's definitely greener. I would probably definitely go with the Poly Sport if I was putting one of these on, but I'll let that one on for a while. It's brand new. So thank you, Pastor, for pointing that out. I apologize to anyone that was throwing these fenders on and couldn't figure out why they fit. So at least now we got that established. Get your new front fender on, get on your Cowie, get outside and ride. Remember to like, subscribe. Thank you.